We are on to round number 2. It's heat 1 of round 2. danboymanboy will be in chair number 1. FoggyMindedFPV out there in chair number 2, and FpvDrift rounding out the order in chair number 3. They are on their way out to the flight starting line there now to place their quads. So a little behind the scenes action here. Some of the guys that make it go. So, not a lot of quad fixing up going on right now, but later on in the race you'll see a lot of guys back there doing hurried fixes for their quads there as they grind up some stumps and weeds and fly through bugs and whatever else gives them some difficulties out there. And we're just about ready, waiting for the tone. And there you go, the tone is off. The 3 pilots into the air. danboymanboy first through the gate, followed by FpvDrift. And danboymanboy having some trouble with the hurdle there. Recovers nicely and is now through into the corkscrew. Followed closely by FoggyMindedFPV, also in the corkscrew. So this is going to be a pretty close race right here. FpvDrift also now approaching the corkscrew. danboymanboy through gate number 9 on the backstretch. There's gate 10. And finishing lap number 1. There's your time, 37.438 seconds, followed closely by FoggyMindedFPV, only 1.4 seconds behind danboy. So it's a close race right now. FpvDrift making his way down the back stretch as well to get onto lap number 1. danboymanboy coming into gate 9 now. FpvDrift now completing his first lap. danboymanboy finishing his second lap now. This will be a quicker time, having not impacted any gates out there this time. He has 31 seconds, and FoggyMinded just falls out of the sky, just out of nowhere. So it's a 2-man race right now. We'll come back to FoggyMinded if he could get his quad back up into the air. It's a pretty good sized impact, so we'll see if he can. Not a lot of movement there in the turtle mode. danboymanboy into gate number 9, the hairpin turn with 20 seconds remaining. He'll be able to start on lap number 4 for sure. And that one a 34-second lap for danboy. FpvDrift in 1 seconds, and they'll give it to him because of the hole shot. So he's on to his 3rd lap as well. danboymanboy now coming around the backstretch to finish his race. And that will be 10 points for danboymanboy. 30.241 second race. FpvDrift also on the ground. So he'll get 10 seconds to get that thing up in the air. And no video on that as well. So that'll be the end of the race. And there's your results, round 2, heat number 1. Unfortunately, 2 DNFs on that one. FoggyMindedFPV crashing on his last lap, and or actually FpvDrift crashing on his last lap. FoggyMindedFPV having some trouble earlier on. danboymanboy meanwhile picks up another 10 points. And this is how it looks on the day now. danboymanboy having pulls ahead of FoggyMinded there. So that was a fairly significant race there. FoggyMinded needed to at least finish to keep pace with danboy on that one. So he's all sold out in first. FoggyMindedFPV and AK Honky, who will be up on this next heat, tied for second in FpvDrift, and FpvFree tied at 3rd.